high school basketball, ASU men's club hockey, and ASU women's club hockey. Your home for all the action, right here on Inferno TV.
He shoots and scores!
It's time for some Monday night basketball in the Valley of the Sun from the Phhacility, the home of the PHH Prep Firefrogs, taking on the Benedictine University Redhawks tonight, capping off what has been a great day of action here in Phoenix. We had AZ Compass taking on PHH Prep. That game went to overtime before the Firefrogs won it 63-62. This one at the nightcap to wrap up what has already been a great showing so far. Good evening, everyone. Alongside Adam Kunin, I'm Mahirson Hassan. Thanks for tuning in what should be an interesting game here in the Valley. So, Adam, a good start so far for PHH Prep. Currently 4-1 on the season, coming off a 136-54 win at home on Saturday. They got a lot of players that are getting a lot of talk in the industry.
Yeah, they have a couple players that even have Division I offers on the roster, and a team that is certainly full of talent. They don't go too deep, only 7 or 8 deep on this roster, but in those 7 or 8 players, a ton of talent, ton of recognition that they're getting from some scouts across the country.
Yeah, and you look at how PHH Prep is, again, very similar to Arizona Compass, very similar to Enterprise, Skyline Prep, a lot of these high schools that can provide a lot of background, just a lot of prep for a lot of these players going into college. And you're probably asking the question, why are they playing a college team tonight? Well, the Redhawks, this is their JV team, their varsity team, 4-2 on the season. They lost twice this past weekend in Great Falls, Montana. But we talked about this pregame, Adam, that you have this team in PHH Prep. A lot of these guys either very close to graduating from high school or have already graduated high school. They're taking on a Benedictine side that has a lot of experience.
Yeah, playing a bit of a bigger team tonight. They're going to face a challenge with some of the bigger players that Benedict has, but I feel like it's a good challenge for these guys that, as you mentioned, are close to that collegiate level, looking for competition similar to that collegiate level, and they're going to get it tonight against, despite it being Benedict's JV team, a team that still boasts a ton of experience, as you mentioned.
So let's take a look at our players to watch for today. A lot of different things to talk about for PHH Prep. We're focusing on the 7-foot, 200-pound junior Chudia Durar. Again, he's averaging a double-double into the season, 14 points per game, 10.8 rebounds. Can also get it done on the defensive side, too, with 5.2 blocks. He's one of those guys that's getting a lot of talk when you talk to different coaches and talk to different programs in general.
Yeah, you have to like what he brings offensively and on the boards, but how about that defense? 5.2 blocks per game can really anchor a defense, and that's something that travels to the collegiate level that collegiate coaches love to see a player certainly to watch tonight.
So we'll see Durar in the tip-off circle going up against DeAndre Johnson of Benedictine. Redhawks in red going from left to right. Firefrogs in white going from right to left. A redo of the tip. And with that, we're underway here from the Phhacility. Controlled by Braylon Hammond, and Hammond will start things off. 18-minute halves here in this matchup between these two teams. Right-hand side, off the rim, good chance by Christian Hawley in the starting lineup. Hasn't played a lot this season, Hawley. Played a lot at Millennium from 2020 to 2022. Brandon Caro pops it over. Johnson, big on big. Three-point shot taken off the back iron. Down the other side, Anthony driving, pressing, kicks it out. Durar thought about the three. Back out towards Hammond. Hammond, left-handed layup, and he gets the reverse up and in. First points of the day for either side. 55 seconds into the game. High pass over towards Johnson, working down low, right-handed layup up and in. 2 points for Johnson. Wearing number 34. Talked about him before, Adam, too. One of these taller players, one of these stronger players in this Benedictine side. Down low, Dorar nearly got it. Able to grab the rebound, take two, no good. But he is able to draw the foul against Johnson. So far, big on big action, working pretty well tonight.
Yeah, that's a matchup I'm just waiting to see between Dorar and Johnson. We saw Johnson get the better of Dorar on that first take, and now he heads to the free throw line.
Dorar misses the first, now 3 for 8 on free throws this season. Averaging 14 points per game, coming off a 24-point performance on Saturday. He gets his third of the night here, so 3-2 in favor of PHH Prep. Again, 18-minute halves here, so you may be able to see 16-20 on your score bug, but again, we're just a minute 40 into this one. Knocked down right side. Tough take by Hammond. Here he is on the break. Hammond, nifty move, nifty finish. Right side. This is Kason Bryant up against Jalen Brown. Brown pokes it away, but he will be whistled for the foul.
And already we've seen this PHH team play with really no fear, pressing up on the perimeter and able to force an early turnover and score on the other end.
Right wing three just bounced out. Carl with the chance. High finish going forward. PHH Prep. Stetson Rowley can't get his popper to go. Rebounded by Dorar. He drives to the bucket and he knocks it in.
You mentioned the high rebound totals for Dorar so far this year. Already has a pair of offensive rebounds to help add to that tonight.
Dribble drive to the lane, blocked by Dorar. We talked about it before, 5.2 blocks on average. That's his first as he gives it off towards Brown. Nearly got the dunk, but he'll head to the line. 7-2 in favor of PHH Prep, 15-14 remaining in this first half, and you can already tell, Adam, that this team has a lot of energy to start.
Yeah, a lot of energy to start. I mean, Brown went up almost like the NBA. Jalen Brown on that take, unable to finish it, but really strong take to the rim, and they're really taking it to this Benedict team early. They're aggressive in their drives and looking to get to the line.
Brown missed the first free throw. He'll make the second. 1 point on the day for Brown, 3 for Dorar, 4 for Hammond, who leads the Fire Frogs right now. High press coming. Out left side. Nifty find in towards Johnson. Johnson, left-handed hook. Rebounded again by Dorar. Hammond directing traffic out towards the left. Good look. Can't get it to go. Back again towards Hawley. He flings it out towards Brown. Back again towards Hammond. 10 to shoot. 14:37 remaining in the first. Hammond looked like he walked, and he did. A little bit of a slippage caused him to get that extra step as the ball goes back to Benedict. Bryant. Give and go with Johnson. Bryant denied again, denied twice. Dorar coming up with 2 blocks as the ball goes out on the baseline.
I mean, Dorar, the shot blocking ability with his length really poses a threat in the paint. It makes it tough for those guards to finish in the lane.
Bryant again down towards Johnson. We've seen this pairing before. Johnson against Dorar. And a shuffle of the feet, shuffle of the basketball. Double dribble is the call on the floor, and once again it goes back to the Fire Frogs. Here's Hammond, 23 points, season high on Saturday. First season with PHH Prep. That's the case with a lot of guys here. A very young program, started up in 2018-2019. Out to the left, Rowley three-pointer short. Nobody able to make a triple so far in this one. Popped up, trying to find Durar, still able to get it. That's what can happen when you're 7 feet tall. Hammond popped down, Rowley towards the top. Bang, down the lane, down the gullet for Christian Hawley.
And I like the ball movement so far for the Fire Frogs. Seems like they're making that extra pass to generate an open shot. And if you're Benedictine, you got to get those rebounds, not let PHH grab those offensive rebounds that are letting them get those second chance opportunities.
Ball will stay with Benedictine. Brian in a double team, as we'll see 3 changes come in for the visitors.
And a limited bench tonight. I mean, they only brought 8 players, so they're going to have to rotate through some guys and hope that their depth is able to hold up through the night.
Johnson trying to feed it off, trying to lay it up. No good. Ball stays in play. Left wing, Bryant again. Working against Brown. Bryant pops it up and gets it to go. Much needed bucket for the Redhawks. Down 11-4, 12:52 remaining in this first half. Rowley again towards Anthony. Rather, that was Hawley. Here's Hawley again. Triple off the mark. Bodies flying to the floor. We've seen that a lot today. Relatively slippery court from what we've seen in this game and the game prior.
Yeah, in the game prior, a lot of guys slipping at certain spots on the court. And hopefully for either of these teams, you don't want to see guys go down hard at all in a game that doesn't carry as much weight, but something to watch for tonight.
Pop from the left elbow just wriggles out. Brown out, King in for the Fire Frogs. More changes coming for Eric Hood and his bench. Kai Anthony and Deshaun Johnson into the game, along with Davion Walker. It'll be Rowley, Durar, and Hawley to take a seat. 2 fouls for either side, 11 points for PHH Prep, 4 for Benedictine. Hammond finds some space, spinning around, nifty move, and that one goes down the gullet. 6 points on the day for him. Johnson trying to find his teammates out on the left wing. Dribble drive to the middle, little too strong. Scooped up again, transition, Hammond to the rack, got it! Boy, is he leading the charge in this one. 15-4 in favor of PHH Prep. Timeout taken by Benedictine. So far, so good for the hosts.
Yeah, what a supercharged start for the Fire Frogs, who really have just been the aggressors tonight. It feels like they've been the team that's been out on the perimeter guarding, trying to get steals, been the team that's gotten downhill, gotten to the rack, gotten to the free throw line. And for Benedictine right now, just a bit of a sluggish start. Maybe that extra delay before the game affected them a bit, but just an unusual start for them, and now they find themselves in a big hole early.
Late night here in Phoenix, 9 p.m. Arizona time. And like you said before, Adam, this game was set to start off at 8:15. Ended up starting up around 8:45, 8:50 or so because of the first game that was already running long as is. And then you tack on another overtime period. PHH Prep coming out victorious 63-62 in that one. Players back on the court for the host. It's King, Anthony, Johnson, along with Walker. Here's a steal by Hammond, and he dunks it home. 6'1", he throws down the hammer. Pressure rolls in. Benedictine able to break. High floater, and that's enough to draw the foul.
And on that last possession, the second time that Hammond's able to rip a steal off and get to the other end. And if you're Benedictine right now, you have to get the ball to the middle. You have to find a way to get it past half court without facing as much pressure, and this Fire Frogs press is really just affecting this Eagles team so far.
This Eagles team, like we talked about before, the JV squad, not the varsity. They're 4-2 on the season. Won 18-11 last year, fell to UC Merced in the first round of the Cal Pac tourney. 1-for-2 trip from the line. Redhawks down 17-5. Here's Hammond again. 8 points on the day for him. Out towards Anthony. Kai Anthony. Hammond working inside. Shifty to Anthony. Nearly got the triple, rebounded by the Redhawks. Out on transition. Little pop from behind. Good defense by Hammond. So far, he's been the player of the game, player to watch so far.
Yeah, really strong start for Hammond out of that point guard spot. Really commanded the offense, gotten them into the sets they wanted. And for the most part, they've gotten good shots tonight. Look at the scoreboard, they're already up 12 points.
Back again with the Redhawks. Known for getting a lot of reps at the NAIA level. Facing Arizona Christian twice, they're number 4 in that division. Also have a road trip towards California to take on the Masters University, who's currently number 10. King, corner 3, no good, rebounded. Good work by Johnson, and out again towards Anthony. Anthony driving, Dorar down the lane, reverse, a little too much. Last touched by PHH Prep, stays with, or rather it goes to Benedictine.
And even though PHH wasn't able to convert on that second chance, another offensive rebound. It's really become a theme so far early in this one here.
Caro, top of the key, lets it fly. Doesn't hit rim, doesn't hit backboard. King controlling, right-hand side, space to work. Looked like he was fouled in the process. Trying to skirt through a couple of Redhawks. Pushing foul called on the floor.
And on the other end, a 2-3 zone, really forcing Benedictine to shoot some three-pointers, and so far it's worked perfectly to PHH's plan.
Rally on the right. King. Guard high up. Going down the right again. King bouncing it down towards Dorar. He's been quiet for a while. Out towards Anthony. Now back on the right. Step on through. And a blocking foul will be called on the Redhawks. A good drive by Jalen Brown. Already with 1 point on the day. 1 for 2 on his last trip to the free throw line. 9:21 remaining in this first half. PHH Prep 17, Benedictine 5. The 6th game of the season for the Fire Frogs as Brown makes the first one. Benedictine also getting some reps this season. The final game of the night here from the facility. It's been a ruckus environment so far. Quelled down a little bit for this game, but we still have some fans in attendance.
Now Johnson is out of the game for Benedictine. A lot of that size comes off the floor. Going to see how that affects them on this next possession.
Out on the right, space to work, and the triple is knocked down. First triple of the day for the Redhawks, courtesy of Leo Scott.
Now here comes some pressure from Benedictine, putting a little bit of a trap out there of their own.
King trying to set the space, 3-2 zone, working now for Benedictine. Rowley down to Dorar. Dorar trying to give it back towards Rowley. Space worked again. 2 seconds left on the shot clock. King knocks it down at the buzzer. 22-8 in favor of the Fire Frogs. Chris King with his first points of the day. Scott tries to answer on the other side. He can't. 1 for 2 on his last 3-point attempts. Anthony Johnson, 3. Down it goes. on the floor. Anthony pressuring. Back to the corner. And worked again. This is Mitch Van Dyke. Flying pass over to Scott. Right wing three again. This time it's airballed. Anthony brought back. Scott right to the rack. And he gets it to go. 5 points on the day for Scott. Leading the Redhawks, who are down by 13, 7:36 remaining in the first. Anthony controlling it right now, the 6 foot, 150-pound sophomore. And possession will go towards the other team, or actually, it's going to be a timeout called by the Fire Frogs.
And here, outside of that last possession, I've been really impressed with the patience from the Fire Frogs. Attacking that 2-3 zone, the possession before seemed like they might run out of time on that shot clock, but they find an open shot in the corner as the buzzer sounds, and it's really a testament to the control that they have offensively and the patience that they've displayed to get good shots, not settle for any contested shots. Really an opposite of what's happened on the other side with Benedictine, and you know, they've shot some three-pointers that haven't gone down so far. It really seems like the plan for the Fire Frogs is to force the Eagles into those three-point shots, and so far it's worked for them.
23-10, Fire Frogs on top right now. Fire Frogs, a team that have scored a lot of points as of late. Again, we talked about it at the top of the show, a 136-54 win at home on Saturday. Coming off a loss, 58-51 here at the facility against AZ Compass Prep Black. They've scored at least 67 points in all of their wins this season. They've got 23 on the day, just a little past the quarter mark. Rowley, Hammond, Dorar, Brown, and Hawley back out on the court as we resume play. Rowley pressured, tried to get it off. Brown able to get it back though. Here's Rowley down the lane, and the shot clock just gets off. Shot clock violation, the first of the day. Nobody really able to keep track of that. A lot more settled play right now. Some more end-to-end action to start. One thing you like to see out of these prep schools. Baseline J, a little too strong by Bryant. Rebound going the other way for Hawley. Dorar. Hammond tries to set it again. He's been quarterbacking the offense today. 12 to shoot. Hawley lets it fly. Off it goes. Chance on the other side. Caro, 2-on-1. Caro knocked away by Hammond. Ball goes out, stays with the Redhawks. Popped out, contested ball, and the foul will be called on Hammond.
Hammond almost had his hands on another one, and he would have gone coast to coast if he came up with it, but seen some more aggression in that timeout, since that timeout from Benedictine, and we'll see if they can cut this deficit to something more manageable before the half.
This was a team that started the game on an 11-2 run. Only been beating the Redhawks by 2 since. Here's Hammond in the transition, lofts it up and in. Not quite the dunk that we saw earlier in the game, but once again, Hammond leads the charge. He's got double-digit points tonight. Here's Johnson on the other end, and DeAndre Johnson puts himself back into the game and back on the score sheet. 4 points for him. Hammond against Bryant. Rowley, catch and shoot. Got it. Stetson Rowley pulling it up from distance. Down again, Johnson. Hammond trying to poke it away from him. Take two, down low. Bryant off the glass and in.
Nice feed, and they're just getting better shots right now, the Eagles are, than they were earlier in the game. You have guys now cutting to the basket, not standing around, and it's worked for them in this late in this first half.
Dorar knocks it down the lane. 5 points on the day for him. averaging a double-double we talked about earlier. Big guy that can get into space. Another big guy, Rowley in transition. Rowley underneath, blocked from behind. Some good recovery by Brandon Caro. Rowley, who had a season-high 32 points on Saturday, only with 3 so far in this first half. 4:41 to go before the break. Nearly an alley-oop towards Brown. Good pickoff by the Redhawks. Bryant trying to shift his way forward. Kason Bryant to the rack. Blocked by Dorar, but a foul called before. 4 fouls for each side. Now 5 for the Fire Frogs. Kason Bryant to the line, one of the 8 players on this squad for Benedictine. Also known as the Mesa Redhawks. Part of the Benedictine University campus area. The downtown Mesa campus opened in 2013, the first 4-year Catholic university in Arizona. Very common thing you see out east, very Midwest, a lot of Jesuit schools, Marianist, wherever you call it. Not the case in Arizona until Benedictine comes out here, their original campus just in Lisley, Illinois, 25 miles west of Chicago. Rowley, Anthony, bounce pass down low, tough shot, Walker can't get it. Carroll lofts it over, high pass over to Scott, he'll control on the left wing. He'll send it over towards the right. Long passing from Benedictine. Right now, fruitless, as it was last touched by Johnson.
Some difficult passes on that possession. Feels like they're forcing it maybe a little bit too much, a couple cross-court passes, and they are seeming to get downhill more, which is a good thing considering their 3-point percentages early in this game, but got to force something a little bit different on offense.
King over to Anthony. Dribble drive, flings it out. Rowley just from the hemisphere, knocked away. You have to credit Benedictine so far. Had a rough start to this game. They're able to get some points as we see Bryant head of the rack. It's still a 13-point game, and it's been that way for a few minutes now.
Yeah, still sticking around, and the effort is there. They're diving on the floor. They're getting to the rack. It's just coming down to making shots, and so far it's been PHH who's been more successful in that.
King, high bounces. Anthony, right wing 3, nearly got it. King will let it go out. Ball stays with the Fire Frogs.
Now the one area outside of making shots that they've really struggled in is grabbing rebounds. PHH has just lived on the offensive glass tonight and found those second chance opportunities.
King. Out towards Anthony. 10 to shoot. Rowley down low. That was Mambu, Christo Mambu with the touch. Now Rowley again, and he'll knock down the corner 3. 2 threes made for Rowley. Those are his only points of the day. 16-point game in favor of the Fire Frogs. Scott nearly answered on the other side. Transition the other way. Here's Anthony down the lane. Denied by Bryant. Ball stays on that side of the court. 2:17 left. More changes coming for the Redhawks. Carl will head to the bench. Anthony with the inbound. Still looking for options. Gets it off. Walker did not get his first, didn't get the rebound either. Slow transition. Johnson knocked down Bryant, able to control. He'll take the right wing 3 off the mark. Rebounded down low again. Johnson struggling to get some of those passes in that area. King, Anthony's calling for it. Goes out wide to Rowley. And that one's short too. Rowley taking a bunch of threes. He went 5 for 7 from beyond the arc on Saturday.
Here, you think they like that corner spot from the three-point line? Seems like
I
they've
would
taken
think
a
so.
ton of them tonight.
Drive to the rack, no good by the Redhawks. Rowley out towards Anthony. 3-on-2, down towards King. King right to the bucket. Can't make it, but he will head to the line to shoot 2.
And every time PHH is able to come up with a rebound or a loose ball, heads up, they're looking ahead, always have someone running the floor. Really a testament to the way that they push the ball, always looking to create easy baskets. And how many open layups have we seen them get tonight? A ton. And they've also been able to get to the line as well. That helps with, if Benedictine's not running back on defense, they're able to get guys trailing, forcing fouls. And for a Benedictine team that only brought 8 players, you don't want to accumulate a ton of fouls additionally early. So running the floor helps in a lot of different ways, and it's been a big key to this almost 20-point lead now for PHH.
2-for-2 trip for King. He's got 8 points on the day, 50 seconds. That is 50 seconds remaining in the first half. Out on the left, wide open chance, just goes out. Some good looks for Bryant near the corner, just couldn't stick the landing there. Hammond will control. Roughly an 11-second difference between play clock and shot clock. Hammond thought about the 3, gives it off towards Walker, and he'll knock it down. Maybe one more response. Shot clock turned off. Ball with the Redhawks. Towards the right. A chance. No good. 10 seconds remaining. Maybe something. King, space to work. 5 seconds left. Can't find Walker. No deflection. It goes back to the Redhawks. .3 seconds. Still some chance, some time remaining. Out on the left, just has to take it, and that will be well short of the cup. So that will do it for the first half here from the facility. It's PHH Prep 38 and Benedictine 17. And Adam, we talked about it a few moments ago, where this Benedictine side started the game rough, but they were able to still kind of sort of be in it, whether it was 10 to 15 points. But now you look at how PHH Prep turned out and closed out that first half, they got to be more comfortable where they're looking at.
Yeah, PHH really controlled the game early. It's been about pace, in my opinion, whether it's knowing the spots, when you have to go push the ball, when you have to try and get easy buckets, and when to slow it down and try and run your offense. I felt like early PHH was really slowing it down, getting into their offensive sets, and then Benedictine brought some pressure, maybe sped them up a bit, but bringing that pressure has allowed PHH to get loose, get easy buckets in transition, and it's really become that kind of cat and mouse game in terms of the pace and bringing pressure on the perimeter. But PHH has now found their stride, and they're up double digits to show for it.
It goes down from being up by 10 to 15 to now being up by 21. Halftime here in Phoenix. Roughly 7 minutes before we return for the second half. Adam will be on the call for that one. For now, we'll take a break here on Inferno TV. Stay with us as we give you PHH Prep Basketball on YouTube.
Inferno TV provides students here at ASU a really unique opportunity to get experience both in front of the camera and behind the camera, and it's something that I'm really happy to see the growth of here at Inferno TV, just the opportunities that freshmen and transfer students especially have to get those reps. It's not something that's easy here at Cronkite. It's not something that's an easy field to get into, and so to be able to provide people those opportunities is something I'm really happy about.
Obviously, ASU has a lot of NCAA programs, but what people might not realize is that they also have a lot of club teams that need some coverage and allows some people to get some behind-the-scenes action, whether they want to be in front of the camera, whether they want to do play-by-play, ringside, sideline, or production, camera work, whatever the case might be. Inferno TV offers that to those students because I feel like you can never have too many clubs that give students real world experience.
And something we really wanted to do was not just provide students that with more opportunities, but also provide these clubs that don't get coverage with more opportunities to get coverage. So, you know, now we're covering Skyline Prep, we're covering ASU lacrosse, ASU men's soccer, FC Arizona is a big one.
And it's really just been like good because we're able to give Cronkite students experience with what they want to do, as well as providing the families of these student athletes a chance to watch them play.
Another cool thing about Inferno TV is that, again, we cover sports that don't really get a lot of coverage, so a lot of parents come up to us and they're like, thank you so much for covering us and all that stuff. And, you know, I think a huge one is whenever we're able to do things like ASU women's hockey, and you see a lot of parents, and a lot of parents come up to you and say, you do great work, this is the only way I can watch my daughter, or for D2 hockey, it's the only way I can watch my son. I think that's a lot of, you know, a lot of happiness and a sense of achievement that everyone gets, and it's cool to be able to not just offer that for teams, but offer that outreach to students.
I think one of my goals for the future of Inferno TV is I'm just looking forward to seeing all of the success stories that we have that come through this program. You know, to see where it started without it being even called Inferno TV in the very beginning, to then the creation of Inferno TV officially as a club, to where it's going to grow in the future beyond when I'm here. So just seeing how it evolves in the future, seeing all the people that come through the program that go on to do great things in the professional world, that's something I'm really looking forward to.
Welcome back to the facility, the home of the PHH Prep Fire Frogs. I'm Adam Kunin alongside Mahir Sinhasan, and Mahir, a 38-17 lead for the Fire Frogs over Benedictine University. And so far, it's been a tale of runs, I believe. I mean, a quick start for PHH, and then they find it again at the end of that first half. What do they have to do to sustain their success early?
I think it comes down to just getting it back towards the paint. Again, we started this game talking about Chudier Durar. He was our player to watch, and he really started this game off by bossing the middle of the paint. Not really getting too physical, but just finding those lanes, finding those options. Now what Benedictine has done is pushed him more out towards the wings, put him more into mid-range chances, and that's what's caused him to kind of struggle over the bit. Again, 5 points today, but then again, he got 24 on Saturday. So this is a guy that when he's really in rhythm, he can really get into rhythm. So if he can find that space, just find those looks right underneath the basket, that could get a little bit more chemistry, and I think a little bit more clicking for this PHH prep side. Again, we talk about Braylon Hammond. He had a really good first half as well. hitting double digits. So if you can get the guard and foreplay working, then we can really see PHH Prep take this game by the reins once more.
You mentioned Hammond, a force on both ends. I mean, he was able to force a couple turnovers and take it back the other way, as now he guards up on Brandon Caro. Caro drives in, kicks it to the wing. This is Bryant with it. Swings it inside, and we'll get a foul on the perimeter. It will be on Jalen Brown. You mentioned Hammond. I mean, what have you seen from him in terms of his pressure on the perimeter and his ability to force steals?
I think it's just his defense. I mean, he really locks down, gets towards the paint. He's not afraid to just scrap at the ball sometimes and take it in transition as well.
As garnering the rebound will be Durar, and he will try to bounce it to his teammate. A little bit of a messy exchange there, but they get it up top to King, who will now run the offense. Hammond on the elbow, gets it to Brown. Brown on the baseline is Durar. Underneath, swing pass to the corner, 3-ball, good. It's Hammond staying hot as his triple extends the Fire Frogs lead. Bryant tries a spin move, now takes a screen, kicks it to the wing. Triple is no good for Caro. As a long pass ahead, beautiful feed from Hammond to King, and another easy basket for the Fire Frogs.
That's the type of facilitation that Hammond provides. He's not afraid to really just go at it. Sees the lane as we see him take the ball back. He's just a Swiss Army knife in general.
Hammond doing it on both ends. Finds his teammate King in the corner. King stops. And they will swing it back up to Hammond to now reset the offense. We've seen this all night. They are able to get it in the hands of Hammond and really set up their offensive sets. We'll see the type of shot they get here. They swing it to King, hard dribble, tries to find his man Durar. It's off his hands, and it will be a PHH turnover. For Benedictine, just a little bit out of sorts offensively. Another steal from Hammond. Lobs it up top. Brown can't finish. As ahead to Johnson, they're unable to get it to him. That would have been a finish and a half for Brown, who went up with one hand and tried to flush it home. There's a nice feed off the inbounds from Bryant, who finds, or excuse me, Scott, who finds Bryant for the easy layup. Those are the type of baskets that Benedictine has to get going forward here if they want to make a comeback.
Yeah, just very simple baskets. Just find the open man, get close towards it, and just put it up.
Has a strong take there from Durar as he's able to kiss it home off the glass. Now coming the other way, it's stolen again by Hammond. A pickpocket maestro. Braylon Hammond has about 5 steals, it seems like, in the past 2 minutes.
I mean, this is a guy that just is really gritty overall. You talked about steals. He's averaging 3.2 steals per game, which is relatively high, something you don't even see at the NCAA college level, especially when you look at so many different players. I mean, Frankie Collins, former ASU Sun Devil, comes to mind for me. You know, that's something that is very helpful. You know, we talk about it too. Points, rebounds, right? Those are obviously helpful. But when you have a guy that can steal the ball, really change that momentum, and really lock down on guards, right? One-on-one play, that's what can help your team out and try to get that defense to offense.
And Hammond, just one of the many players that I believe will garner some D1 attention. I mean, we already mentioned at the top of the broadcast, Chudier Durar, who has offers from Cal State Northridge and Bakersfield. His teammate, Chris King, has an offer from Bakersfield. It would be really cool to see those two team up, but a guy like Braylon Hammond could certainly command some college attention. What do you see from his game that could maybe translate to the next level?
I think in general, it's just the fact that he's one of those guys that can be very scrappy, but can also hold the ball, right? And that's something you usually see like one or the other, especially with a point guard. He's 6 foot, so he's not the tallest. He won't be the tallest in the court, but nonetheless, he still provides some strength, and he's got hops too. And I think that's the other thing, is that he can be a guy that can rebound in those big moments.
Out of the timeout, it is Bryant with it, who gets denied again at the rim by Durar. He's just been a force of nature inside. Spin move, looking for Durar on the block, and what a pretty fake up and under. And he finishes off the glass. 30-point lead now for the Fire Frogs over the Redhawks. As a bad pass, and coming the other way is Rally. Rally off the glass, and the finish from Durar. Showtime here at the facility. The Fire Frogs all over the Redhawks in this one. Nice feed inside to Johnson. Able to get another easy bucket, but how about that finish on the other end?
Oh yeah, for sure. And again, Rowley's got hops too. He's 6'6", and I was thinking, is he going to dunk it? Well, you got Durar right behind him, and he's 7 foot, so he's got an easier way to the bucket. Why not get some show-stopping stuff? And yeah, you're up 32, right? So this is all about learning experiences.
Durar misses, but gets his own rebound and puts it back in. He has a bit of a ability to dribble from the perimeter, something you don't see from too many 7-footers. I guess nowadays you see it with all these lengthy bigs, as another steal is taken the other way and laid up and home from Holly. And Benedictine starting to get just a little bit lazy with the basketball. A foul in the backcourt, and we will get some subs in. Durar will head to the bench, but here going back. Shot is no good for Van Dyke. Quickly the other way comes Holly. Holly, pass to the corner behind the back. PHH swinging the ball around. No good on the layup, as ball is just caroming out of control at this point for both sides. As we've seen time and time again, the Fire Frogs have been able to slow the game down when it starts to get out of hand, as Anthony will swing it to his teammate Holly. In the corner, it's Rowley. They get it to the block. Back outside to Rowley. He drives in. Floater is good off the rim and backboard, and really calm and patient play there from Stetson Rowley. Pressure again from PHH, but Caro able to get through the defense. Drives in strong, no good. Rowley will slow it down and get it to Holly. Fire Frogs taking their time and no rush, up by more than 30 points. Nice feed to the corner. Off the rim, no good for Johnson, and another rush pass there from Benedictine. They have the right idea, it just feels like a bit rushed in some of these passes, and they've been errant, not allowing them to finish on these transition opportunities.
And not too many transition opportunities in general, Adam. This is a Benedictine side that's been in defense, and they've kind of set their attack in ways where they're kind of going with the Fire Frogs overall, and the Fire Frogs have that endurance to really stick with them. So it's transition offense like this where you got to just find your pathways a little bit better.
Benedictine will take it the other way. Van Dyke has it, guarded by Anthony, who's able to poke it out of bounds. They're going to say that's off of PHH.
But that's a good moment there, Adam, too, because you can see the player going forward, right? You can get that lob over the top. He's a tall guy, and then just really either knock it down or get a layup. Instead, you decide to hold. PHH comes back, and then all of a sudden, it's another 5-on-5 game. You don't have that advantage.
So in the front court again, it will be the Redhawks, as loses the ball, but Caro gets it back. Way off the mark, and coming back the other way is Holly with it. Holly, a lot of space. Tray ball, bottoms. Christian Holly from beyond the arc, and the lead balloons to almost 40 now. Another steal. Johnson. Anthony loses it, diving on the floor. And I believe we're going to get a timeout to keep the possession with Benedictine. Holly's been another guy tonight that I've been really impressed with me here. Another calming present along with Hammond that's been able to slow the game down and get good shots for PHH.
Yeah, and again, you talked about slowing down shots, slowing down the momentum. That's something you want out of a point guard. And he's not necessarily the guy that's holding the ball, but he can just take that one moment, find that right spot, make sure that his players can set the screen or he can just dribble inside. We've seen him take a lot of three-point shots today, and that's been a common thing for a lot of these guards for PHH Prep, and why not when you realize you have the advantage in a game like this? But I think what's impressed me more about it is just he's combined that with a lot of scrappy play, a lot of play down under that can really just get that ball back for the Firefrogs.
And so now we sit with just over 11 minutes to go in this one. I don't know if you were expecting this, Mahir, but a 60-21 lead for PHH, and they've really impressed in terms of their pace of play, in my opinion. Been able to control it for most of the night. You've seen them go slow at times. You've seen them go fast. And that's really impressive considering the youth on this team. Still time to grow and develop in their careers.
And I think that's what comes down to it. I mean, you talk about talent, you talk about hard work, and again, these are two teams that have the talent, right? This is a Benedictine Mesa side that is an NAIA squad. They're facing some of the best competition in NAIA this season. And then you have Firefrogs, which, I mean, you can look at the resume, you can look at the school's website, PHH Prep, and just say, hey, there's a lot of these guys that have played at the next level and have made that jump to Division I, to Power 5 schools. And when you look at this team, knowing that they're one of the best teams in this whole program, you want to make sure that they get those reps, right? And that's probably the reason why Eric Hood wants to play up, wants to play them against guys that are older than you, that have more experience in the game than you, so you can get those reps and make sure that once you get to that college level, you're ready.
That's been kind of the central theme around a lot of these prep teams in Arizona. We've gone out to see PHH Prep now, and we've seen AZ Compass, Skyline, all of these prep schools. They are feeders to some of these college programs around the nation, and playing for one of them helps command attention from scouts.
And, I mean, you look at some of the teams like ASU, right? Sean Phillips went to Dream City Christian, another one of these massive programs that really invest in the game of basketball, right? And that's something that a lot of these coaches are turning to, right? AZ Compass, they hosted a big event. They had a lot of Power 5 coaches there, including John Calipari. So if you can have someone like John Calipari in your building, a man who has led a team to a national championship, that gives you a lot of hope, right? That gives you a lot of fire and energy, right? You realize this is what your life can be if you can really push the right buttons, and your talent can get you some ways too.
It's another steal here for the Firefrogs. Coming down hard in the lane is Johnson, as he will go to the line. Or rather, it will be a baseline out of bounds take here for the Firefrogs, who up 40 points, not showing any signs of slowing down, is off the lob on the inbound. Rowley is almost able to finish. He'll go to the line to shoot too. Nice little nifty inbounds play to set up a good look for Rowley.
And I think Rowley's trying to get back for that moment where he alley-ooped towards Dorar. And again, Dorar, the taller guy, just took the finish, but Rowley, again, 6'6". He plays the guard position. He plays forward. So he can, again, drive to the bucket and get those just layups, dunks, whatever it may be. Right, another dynamic player for this Firefrog side.
Feels like a lot of these PHH players play a little bit bigger than their size. Not too many guys over 6'6". In fact, only one. Is another steal here. Holly's the recipient of it and unable to finish, but his teammate is right there to pick up the slack. It's Johnson who hits the putback layup, and the PHH lead just continues to bloom as another steal here for the Firefrogs. But here it's become almost every other possession. There are back-to-back possessions of steals for PHH.
That's what happens with passing too, is if your passing's not in the right spot, if you know your defense is good, you can get up and really trust your man marking. That's what can happen sometimes. And you can see it tonight from the Firefrogs. Again, a team in general that has averaged many steals this season.
So they kick it outside to Anthony, who feeds it inside and finds his teammate Mambu, who has been quiet so far tonight, but gets on the board there with a layup. The other way, Benedictine, easy finish for Bryant, who finger rolls it in, and they get back on the board after a bit of a drought for the Redhawks. Is now nice perimeter defense here being put on Anthony, but he drives by and almost lobs it up for his teammate Rowley. Hustle the other way, though, from the Redhawks, and an and one. Nice finish there inside. And Benedictine, now a pair of buckets on back-to-back possessions. We'll go to the line with a chance to complete the three-point play.
We talked about possessions earlier, and again, that was just a good chance. And we talked about PHH Prep making those changes and really getting into the grill of the Redhawks. But you look at what we've seen on the other side, especially on that play too, just a simple pick away, simple finish down the lane too. Kind of a rough first hit as well, so he had to really scurry to get that and make sure every movement was good.
Free throw is no good off the iron. And here is Hammond back on the floor, gets it to his man Durar, who can't finish the dunk. Gets his own rebound though, spins, dribbles inside, loses it, and Johnson will recover it. Benedictine trying to now make it 3 straight possessions of baskets, just stepping stones going forward if they're able to produce some offense here, as Van Dyke has it. Pulls up from the free throw line, no good off the front iron, and rebounded though by Johnson, who puts on a nice Hakeem Olajuwon fake and turns the other way and spins it home. Anthony now hounded by Van Dyke. Spin move. Almost loses it. He does lose it, and now a turnover. Benedictine tosses it away themselves. As nice effort there from Hammond, or rather Anthony, who's able to knock it off of Johnson and keep the possession with the Fire Frogs.
That was a good play again by Anthony, where he realized, hey, I'm beat here. I don't have that defensive edge, or rather, I lost the ball, but hey, I can get it back too. It's just hustle to show, hey, anything, anyhow.
So they run the same play that they ran a possession earlier out of bounds, and Brown is the recipient of that pass. Goes down hard, but will be fouled and head to the free throw line. Still rubbing at that leg and making sure that he's all right. Trying to eclipse the 70-point mark now with just under 8 minutes to go in this second half. First free throw is no good. Brown, another one of those guys that has displayed incredible athleticism tonight. Almost came up with what would have been one of the dunks probably of the year in prep basketball, but unable to finish at the rim. We've seen a couple, though, of these high-rising dunks from the PHH players tonight. Makes for really exciting basketball. As Bryant will swing it to Van Dyke. Thought they might have got a double dribble there. Nice feed inside, but it's blocked by Brown. And now Hammond coming the other way. He'll be fouled and head to the line again. Jaylen Brown, we just mentioned the athleticism on offense, but how about on defense, coming up with a big swat?
I don't know how this team just prepares. I don't know if they practice vertical jumps during practice, but almost every single guy on this team knows how to get to the rim, whether it's either on the offensive side or the defensive side. I mean, we saw a 6'1" Braylon Hammond get a dunk early in the first half, and then Jaylen Brown, 6'4", able to get the hops as well.
And there's nothing scarier than playing against a team full of guys who are not afraid to challenge you at the rim on offense or on defense, as we've seen. There's more pressure here from PHH. Bryant just heaves it, looking for a teammate, and his prayer is not answered. Van Dyke nowhere to be found on that pass, and they hear once again the turnovers just killing PHH, or rather Benedictine working for PHH on the defensive end, as they'll feed it inside to Hammond on the perimeter, and now he'll hand it off to Brown. Brown and one. Jaylen Brown coming to life in this second half as he kisses it off the glass, and will have a chance to finish the three-point play.
And again, this is a guy that's very used to his right hand. Almost got an alley-oop that way. Just, again, a nifty finish. Doesn't have to use both hands to get the basketball in the net.
He swishes home the free throw. And the PHH lead balloons to 74-29. Bryant gets it to Van Dyke. They get it in to the free throw line. Nice feed inside, but unable to convert on the up and under. Now baseline out of bounds for the Redhawks. Caney can't find his teammate. Brown swings it ahead. Looking for Brown was Anthony. And I believe that is going to be headed back the way of Benedictine, but still pushing the pace up big, and they're hoping to get a couple more highlight plays before this one ends.
And these are both two programs that, again, it comes down to reps, it comes down to minutes. So even though you could say, hey, I mean, it's basically a 45-point game. This game is essentially over. There's still a lot of chances to get something going.
Caro doesn't believe it's over yet as he nails a 3 to cut the lead down, and Hammond once again still on the floor. Still some notable players on the floor for PHH as Hammond with a hop step, kick outside, 3-ball, no good. Rebound, Bryant fakes the pass, dribbling inside, pulls up for the mid-range and is pure.
Again, 2 back-to-back buckets by Benedictine. They've come into this game, they've given a little bit of life to it, and especially now that this PHH team has kind of realized, hey, let's put some of these players in that don't get too many minutes. You can kind of you can work your way around the basket, you can work your way around the game a little bit and say, hey, what works, right? What works for this team? So when you get back to the court, when you get back to practice, you can try to get some new ideas rolling.
Still practicing that full court press as Benedictine looks to get it past the timeline. They do. Swing it to the corner, and nice feed inside. That one's going to count for McGaney, who got it blocked off the backboard by Durar, but of course that is a goaltending, and they will get credit for the basket. Durar with it, coming coast to coast, and easily converts at the rim with the left hand. I mean, you can see the dribbling skills and ability to finish at that size. It's something scary for other teams. There's another steal from Hammond, who lobs it up top and off the backboard, rebounded by Brown. Maybe not the lob that they originally thought they were going to get, but Brown is able to convert. And now another block here from Brown. Bryant pumps inside and blocked. It's Rowley. I mean, there's just no openings in this Fire Frogs defense. Everyone's got hands up, swatting the ball, and another block there for PHH.
And you look at how they're playing right now, it doesn't seem that this team is gassed that much. Again, allowing a little bit more points than they were in the first half, but at the same time, they're still having energy. They're still looking for options. And again, Durar, again, takes the pass. He's the one facilitating now.
Durar almost able to convert on the take, but he'll head to the line to shoot 2. Shooting foul here as that PHH lead just continues to grow. Now up to 41 as Durar is able to nail the first free throw. Just under 5 minutes to go here at the facility. Great night of basketball. We had a fun first game that went to double overtime. This game, not as close, but still full of great basketball and highlights on both ends. Bryant gets it to McGaney, who swings it cross court to the corner. That one no good off the side iron, and will be off of Benedictine with a baseline out of bounds now for the Fire Frogs. Will be Walker to inbound, who gets it to Hawley. Hawley has it stripped, dives on the floor. Looks like a Benedictine player is hurt as a result of that dive. We hope he's okay, especially at this point in the game. Grabbing that elbow. Not a good sight here, especially late in a game that doesn't carry as much weight at this point in the season.
Yeah, and it was a rough challenge as well, just trying to get it back. And again, it seemed like the Fire Frogs got it back relatively seamlessly, and it's good to see him back out on his feet too.
Mitch Van Dyke hit the deck hard, and he'll shrug it off. Able to play through this one. Was grabbing that elbow, but maybe just bruised, and looks like he'll actually run to the locker room. So hope that he's okay going forward. And only 4 minutes to go in this game, so not a sight you want to see. Is another corner 3 here from PHH. That one is on the behalf of Stetson Rowley. Three ball the other way is good for Scott. So they trade a pair of threes on both ends, and now loose ball headed the other way. Mahir, both teams, especially PHH though, have lived in that corner three spot. What have you liked about the way that the Fire Frogs have been able to get it to that spot and get open shots from the corner?
Well, it comes down to just transition overall, right? I mean, you can see Rowley where, you know, sometimes he's playing the center of that 2-3 zone, and then all of a sudden he gets out on the left or out on the right. Just find the open space. Just make sure you can break that zone a little bit, right? Just really stretch that zone apart. So you can take the corner three at times when it's in tight. When it's out wide, you can really play it inside and really drive towards the basket.
Chris King lays it up and in, and he's up to now good chunk of change on the night in the points category as Redhawks work it around. Three ball is no good. It's now running the other way. Here comes King. Lays it in for two, and with the foul, he'll go to the line to try and complete the three-point play. Chris King, guy that has Division I offers, we mentioned earlier, has that offer from Bakersfield before tonight, averaging 16 points per game, 2.4 rebounds, and 2.6 assists to pair with his 2.2 steals. Defense, as we mentioned, a big part of this PHH team, and it feels like at every level they can defend.
I mean, you look at the roster in general, you got Makai Anthony, 1.8 steals per game, Jalen Brown at 2.5, Chris King, like you said, at 2.2, and then Hammond leads the way at 3.2. So, again, you on average, you got a team that's basically averaging close to 9-10 steals per game, probably more.
Rebounded by Rowley, who chucks it ahead. It's, once again, almost an incredible dunk from King. He tried to go for the poster. Almost yammed it home, but it's blocked at the rim by Scott. So they kick it to the corner now. It's Holly. Thought about a three. Doesn't pull. And King will pull. Swishes home another three. And Mahir, that corner pocket has worked really well for the Fire Frogs. It's another nice take there from Van Dyke, who swishes the floater home. And he's really tried all night long to keep up that pressure beyond the timeline, and got to give credit to a guy who still giving maximum effort down this many points late in the game.
And again, this is a team that's just going really at it, right? And I think I'm still looking back at that Chris King chance, right? He really got up there trying to get the dunk. And again, you got less than a minute to go, but this team's still trying to try their different options. They're getting crafty. They're finding themselves, getting some chemistry. And again, and that's what you kind of need, especially early on in the season, right? You still got many games ahead. You're going to face a lot going all the way from now until February, possibly March, and even later, knowing the types of showcases that these prep teams are a part of. It's all about finding yourself and finding others, too.
Ball caroms out of bounds off the legs of Walker. Time winding down, maybe one last possession here. Caro spots up and nails home the three-pointer, and that one should be the last of the possessions tonight. Maybe not, as PHH looking to push it here. Thought about a three ball, no. I think that'll be the night for both sides, and this one will wrap up as a 91-46 win for the PHH Prep Fire Frogs over the Benedictine Redhawks. And Mahir, just a complete display of offensive prowess from the Fire Frogs from start to finish. What do you like about them, and who really stood out to you tonight? I mean, there's a ton of guys to choose from, but if you had to pinpoint a few, who would you pick?
I think in general, I think first half-wise, it was Braylon Hammond, because he really just attacked the ball, and he really attacked the basket as well. Whether you put him in the mid-range, you put him on the layup, whether you put him in three-point lane, he was able to hit from all around the arc. I think in the second half, I'd have to take Stetson Rowley. Again, 5 for 7 in the three-point range last Saturday, in fact. He's had these reps before. He wants to try to shoot it from deep. And again, when you get to this point in the game where I think by halftime we knew that PHH Prep was going to take it, it really just came down to what worked in your repertoire, how do you really draw this team out? And we really saw Rowley take those chances, right? Be creative on the assists, go towards the corner three. I mean, if there's one takeaway, this team's really good in the corner. Don't put this team in the corner. They'll make you pay. And again, I mean, you look at the schedule, right, where they've won 109 to 68, 90 to 67, 136 last Saturday. Just comparing that to what we saw today, it really shows you what this team can do down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, points in transition. PHH might have outscored Benedictine on that alone. I mean, just really controlling the pace tonight. As you mentioned, a good showing and a good night of basketball overall here at the facility. As we want to remind you that this broadcast was brought to you by Inferno TV, a completely student-run club at Arizona State University. To stay up to date with all of our future broadcasts, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow our social medias at Inferno TV. For our entire crew and for Mahir Sinhasan, I'm Adam Cunin saying so long from Mesa.